Aaron A. Long and I played. You might have heard about this individual. He is won a lot of major events. I believe he's won Adepticon. He's won IT or Nova before. He's won Invitationals. He's also been known to be a certain type of character. I am playing against him. This is where the plasma pistol incident, plasma pistol gate, and potentially even the alligator gate, which we didn't even talk about in the webcast. Facts. Aaron A. Long, after talking with Frankie, his first round opponent, Aaron A. Long used plasma pistols on his sister superiors from his Seraphim squads against Frankie. He tried to use said pistol against me after he realized that his Infernus pistols did not kill my Mawloc at the the bottom of round 3. His Infernus pistols did not kill my Mawloc. He then turned and said, oh, I'll use my plasma pistols. A good pro tip for anyone out there, a mantra of mine, and I'm going to use Mike Taylor as an example. I don't trust individuals that say that they pay points for plasma pistols. Not saying that I believe they're lying to me, but in my opinion, no one ever really finds points left to give their sergeants, their company commanders, plasma pistols. I've been doing this tactic for years now. I will not call them out to be a cheater. I will just simply grab their list because they give it to you at the beginning of every round. They give you a list, so use it. I will check. Mike Taylor, the Invitational, shot me with a plasma pistol. I did not call him a liar. I picked it up, looked, hey, his company commander has a plasma pistol. I put the list down. That is just a practice that I do. I do the same thing against Aaron A. Long. Come to find out, he does not have a plasma pistol. None there. For anybody who says that's not a big deal, that is the farthest from the truth. It is a big deal because that is the best plasma pistol that the universe has ever created. Faith points allows them to double move, so they can always shoot their plasma pistol at a quality target turn 1 if they would like. The faith points also allow them to double shoot, meaning that plasma pistol is always going to see 2 shots in every game. That plasma pistol can always be used in close combat if they're in close combat, right? So it's the best one in the game. In fact, he tried to use it against me. I called it on him. He admitted, was like, oh, sorry, I don't have it. Now, again, that can be a mistake, but also with certain histories, that is not a mistake. Who knows? Again, it is what it is. We're talking facts. One other thing that I want to talk about.
Well, that's why you asked. That's why you went and asked Frankie.
Frankie, because the man told me, I looked at him, I was like, you're telling me because, and another thing, I don't go to Shane and Chris at this point in time. I don't say, oh my God, he used this against me, because I don't need to. Aaron and I looked at each other and I got my point across. I told him exactly how I feel. And I got mine at the table. I didn't need to say anything else, but I told him that once I talk to Frankie, he's not going to tell me that you use plasma pistols, right? No, absolutely not. He isn't going to tell you that. Okay, fine. So I didn't go out of my way to find him right then. When I ran across him Saturday morning is a different story. Aaron A. Long is playing with unapproved models after he told me that they were approved. He did say that to my face. For anyone else to say that he didn't was a lie. Because when I brought them up in round 4 after I accidentally knocked over his Saint for the second time, as he wanted to point out, I said, man, don't say something to me when you've got this guy all, cockeyed and such a precarious individual. But he didn't want to claim wobbly model because he told me that wobbly model doesn't exist earlier when I tried to say that it does. He had too much gall in his game to say that it doesn't exist. So that's why he kept his model up there and then wanted to say something. I accidentally knock it over on a precarious building. That these little Rough Riders that were turtles and lizards and alligators, So either way, the problem is that when a man says, I did get them approved, and Shane, who's doing all the approving, says, you did not get them approved, this is a lie. This is, again, a character flaw. This is where we're at. These are facts. This is not bashing anybody. I've already proven that this team beat the hell out of us without it. So it's not like I have too much of an ego to say I would have won if it wasn't for this, or our team would have done this. We are saying hardcore facts. Also, I want to touch on how this mob mentality works for Justin Curtis. Justin Curtis releases as part of Team Happy this million-long paragraph deposition almost of how, they did kind of do wrong, but you want to know what, at the end of the day, we were singled out because we're the winners. No, there's been cheating scandals for every year that something has ever won. We can trace back. If anybody wants to know, we can call them out if you guys want. I can go into details exactly throughout the years. Tim Gorham, you kidding me? Tim Gorham used against Mike McCaffrey 2 years ago. 3 years ago now, after this past one, in 5th edition, talking about the aura effect of Gray Knights minusing leadership, or minusing invulnerable saves by 1, and it's stacking. And Mike McCaffrey saying, wow, man, you just won the Invitational. You just won all these big events. I follow you. Like, absolutely, you must be right. And then come to find out, absolutely cheated the man. His Fate Weaver that had a 3-up invulnerable, come to find out, still had a 3-up invulnerable. And when confronted that next morning that he cheated him, and Mike McCaffrey thought that he was going to right the ship, Tim looks at him and was like, oh, well, the game's over now. So that's the foundation that you win a tournament on? How dare you? And I don't care. I am saying all these things knowing that this entire team is going to try to confront me and try to say things. Oh, well, we haven't spoke. Like, absolutely not. That is pathetic. This is a different 40K. There is a reason why the mob mentality, Justin Curtis, that you speak of, is because the room was sick of the shenanigans. Now, shout out to Shane and Chris, because you want to know what? Someone has to be an adult. Someone has to say that this or the chain of events. And I do believe, and I know for a fact, that the mob mentality, and I'm using this in air quotes, did not sway their opinion one way or the other, because if it did have an opinion, they would have kicked your guys' asses out at the end of round 3 Saturday morning. But they didn't. Even though they were under scrutiny the entire time, even though individuals were calling them out on the internet, were accosting them, were telling them how they were spineless and everything else, they didn't sway. They said no. Defending the fact of you guys. So watch out before you ever say that they swayed to the mob mentality. Well, you guys weren't in the room then. You guys were in your own little universe, okay? Taking responsibility for your actions is acceptable. Understanding that the game of 40K in front of you is less than the game of 40K as a whole. That's your problem.
So what Juice is talking about is, this is all what he observed. These boots on the ground. A lot of what you guys are reading on the internet is hearsay. Bowles put out a super damaging and irresponsible article like 1:30 in the morning on Monday. Editorial, all hearsay. Very damaging.
Well, they did claim that they had heard from eyewitnesses at the event.
Well, I have an eyewitness here in my podcast telling you.
Two,
as a matter of fact. So it's a super irresponsible move on their part. It potentially damaged ATC. We'll see how much it damaged them in the upcoming months. So a lot of people are getting their facts from that. And I understand on the internet, what you read first oftentimes is what you hold precious. Well, we're here to tell you there's a lot more to the story than that, okay? So there was a scandal at ATC. Team Happy was disqualified. They were about to 4P. Team Happy, who knows if they believe this or not, but they're defending themselves, saying that they were singled out because they were going to win. Juice said that, well, what really happened was you have this group of people, the silent majority, who were tired of this shit, and they finally stood up for it. And he supported that argument with Exhibit A. In the last 6 months, certain people on this team, very recently, have been surrounded by scandals. Other people on the team in the previous years have been surrounded by scandals. Aaron Long, multiple scandals on the wrong points in his army, and having convinced tournament organizers and back deal alleys to bring formations or data slates in that other people didn't realize were approved. Tony being the biggest dick on the face of the planet during LVO. Tony being a part of another dick team, year 2 ATCs. Tim Gorm, multiple scandals. These guys are not just getting signaled out because they're fucking going to win for the 4th time. They were in the perfect situation, about to win again, cheated again, scandaled again. People had enough. There's a limit to what people will take. And we found that breaking point.